Today's video is sponsored by SimpliSafe. So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. We're back down here at the wood yard, and if you saw that last video, I used this grapple for the first time. This is a Virnig root rake grapple, the V60 series. I like it a lot, but I was picking up some of these logs over here, moving them down to the lower end of the yard, kind of organizing things. I've got a few left here. I got 2 walnuts here. These came from Plumber Jim. Got a couple red oaks and I think a white oak over there. And then there's a few red pines laying on the ground. They may go right to the burn pit. I have been using those for stringers to keep the other logs up off the ground. I got a few firewood rounds here. But anyway, once we get all this picked up and cleaned up, we'll put the bucket back on the skid loader and we're gonna grade all this up. There's a bunch of bark and some debris in here. I'll try to rake some of that out of here, but it's just a mixture of sawdust, bark, stone, and dirt. But I think we can get things cleaned up and it'll look pretty nice when I'm done. Kind of getting ready for a fresh start down here. Alright, all I got left is a few firewood rounds and a bunch of bark and a bunch of mess. Here in a little bit I'll get these down by the log splitter and we'll start grading all this up. Once I got all these logs gathered up, they don't take up much room once they are organized a little bit. But there's 1, 2, let's see, those are the 2 walnuts from Plumber Jim. That's another walnut right there. I think there's 4 walnut logs in here. Couple red oak, couple white oak, and I did save those 4 red pine. They weren't as bad as I thought they would be, you know, from sitting in the ground all that time. All right, we're gonna take the grapple off and put the bucket back on. I mentioned this the other day. Check this, flip this little cover up, unlock. All I gotta do is unhook the hoses now. By the way, this has pressure release couplers on it. Watch when I push in on this. That releases the pressure. So I mentioned earlier that today's video was sponsored by SimpliSafe, and I want to thank them for sponsoring today's video. They've been a great partner to our channel, and they make a fantastic product. If you're not familiar with SimpliSafe, it's an incredibly effective, very easy to install, and easy to use security system for your home. We've had our system installed in our home for almost 3 years now, and it works flawlessly. And like I mentioned, very easy to install. It was an absolute breeze to do. I had the entire system up and running in a single evening. And I mentioned before, I'm not a real techie kind of guy, but it was super easy to do. And I also like the idea that I could do it myself and didn't have to bring strangers into the home to install a security system. There's a lot of things to like about SimpliSafe, but one of my favorite things is this outdoor security camera right here. This is one of 3 that we use. The cameras help us 3 different ways, actually. Number 1, obviously security. Number 2, we can keep our eye on our oldest son, Hunter, who has autism. And number 3, I can double check and make sure daughter Eva made it home before curfew if I fall asleep. Not only do the cameras work great, so do all the motion sensors, the window sensors, the keypad, the base station. Everything works fantastic. Bottom line is this: SimpliSafe is a great security system. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have it in my home, and I sure as heck wouldn't be standing here telling you about it today. If you want more information, I highly suggest you check out the link in the description. Save 20% on your SimpliSafe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit simplisafe.com/Morgans to learn more. All right, it is coming along. What I'm gonna have to do here, maybe tomorrow, I need to move what's left of this stack of lumber right here. That was a lot taller, but the other day Levi came down with the MX. He got a bunch of that red pine. We're using that for a little project there. You'll see that in an upcoming video, but he took a couple hundred board feet up to the building, and I need to move that, grade all this down. Now I have one little problem here. I can fix it, but in here it's pretty soft, and the reason is I was digging through here for fill for the new building, and I actually dug down about 4 feet and got into that real good shale, and then just backfilled it with stuff that wasn't as good. It's pretty tight, but I think what I'm going to do is just dig into this corner right here and get some of that good shale out, you know, back in the bank with the excavator, because this all needs to come up just a little bit so water doesn't lay in here. What I want is all the water down here when it rains to slope off that direction and back behind me. So I got a little bit of a low spot here. We're going to fill that in right now. All right, I got a little pile of shale here to get started. This is good stuff, makes good fill. I'll probably need more, but I won't know until I move that stack of lumber right there, because all that right in there could be shaved down and brought this way as well. So I'm gonna hop on the skid loader here. We'll spread this out, track it in, and see what it looks like. Oh, I've been wanting to mention something the last couple videos, and I keep forgetting about it, but you know, Levi and Kate have a channel, Tied Up with the Morgans, and Levi has been taking classes through Penn State, both in person and online, on pruning trees, different species of trees, invasive plants, all sorts of things. But he recently published a video where he's getting some Chinese chestnuts growing. We have several of them up by the house, and they have some down at their place. Last fall, he collected a bunch of the nuts. He put them in the refrigerator over winter. They're already sprouting. Now he has them in cups. But I did that one time, and I was very successful at first, and I ended up in potting plants with them. I put them on the wall right by the house to get some sun, and one night the deer just decimated them. They just chewed them down to nothing. So he's going to protect them a lot better than I did. But I think he has about 100 of them. He'll be planting some around here and down at his place. But yeah, check out their channel, Tied Up with the Morgans. All right, that is much, much better than it was this morning. Looking pretty good. And by the way, that is a tripod for one of my cameras. Tomorrow, if it doesn't rain, I'll start working that slope across, get that all dressed up. We'll get that stack of lumber moved, grade all that up. But yeah, pretty soon, we're gonna be ready for a whole bunch of stone down here. This morning, it poured down the rain for about a half hour, 45 minutes, but it turned out to be a pretty decent day. Still not warm though. Spring just doesn't seem to want to show up. But anyway, before I wrap this video up, I want to thank SimpliSafe for sponsoring today's video. And don't forget, there's a link in the description. And I also want to thank all you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.